Hello everyone, my name is Ben Sinclair and today we're going to be making a Christmas Beef Wellington. Or not a Christmas one, just a normal one, don't know why I said that. But anyway, let's get going. So the ingredients we've got today, we have a beef fillet, beautiful cut of meat, really nice, really tasty, and it works incredibly well with a beef Wellington. We've got some nice herbs, we've got some thyme, rosemary, some bay leaves, also we've got some garlic. Just got the pre-rolled puff pastry. We're not going to fuss around making our own because it takes hours and you can just buy it in the shops and it's much quicker. Got some milk, some Dijon mustard, some plain flour, 3 eggs, some butter. I think I've already said that. We've got some Parma ham here. You can use prosciutto. Honestly, it's fine. You don't want to be using salamis or tricks or anything. You wouldn't be working with that. We've got some nice spring green cabbage and we've got some butter mushrooms. So yeah, I'm going to flip the cameras around and let's do this. Right now guys, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be making our mushroom duxelles. So what I'm doing, I'm just chopping them down just so the machine can blend them up a bit better. If you haven't got a blender, that's fine, you can chop them just really finely. Our mushrooms all nicely blended up and stuff, we're going to just get a nice hot pan on, get some butter, dice up half an onion, and we're going to start sweating off the onions first. After our onions all nicely cooked, what we're going to do now is going to add our mushrooms. We're going to add a nice knob of butter to that, and we're going to also add some salt and pepper. And we want to make this down to a thick paste. This is far too wet at the moment. We really want to cook this out. And in a minute, I'm going to add some herbs to this. Right, so now I'm adding the herbs, a little bit of garlic as well. I try and grate it instead of chopping it. It just saves a bit of time, and I feel you get a much more even distribution of garlic, so there's no lumps in there or anything like that. If you have got some, if you haven't got any herbs, then don't worry about it. It's not too important, but definitely it really does help out this part of the cooking process. Right guys, now we're going to be making our crepes, if not our savoury pancakes. This is for the outside of the beef. And what you want enough so it can cover the beef the whole way round. So there's no sides are going to be left open. I've just gone equal quantities at the same time. If you do need a recipe, please just leave it in the comments. I can always add that to it. I've also added just a little bit of truffle oil. I just think it helps complements it a little bit, seasons it up as well. And now obviously I'm going to be making sure my pancake mixture is seasoned, salt and pepper, and make sure it's really nice and smooth. At this part of the Wellington, it's actually pancake day, and we're going to do what we normally do in pancake. We're going to flip some pancakes up. We only need 2, and we don't actually need too much of a colour, you know. We're literally just cooking it. It doesn't matter because it's going to go inside the beef Wellington, so it's not about the colour or anything. So, yeah, give it a good flip like I've done first time. Very proud of that. Yeah, so let's move on to the next stage. Right, now we're going to be moving on to the spring green cabbage. Basically, what we want to do is keep the leaves as big as possible, and this is just going to help with the end process of actually wrapping the beef in this. So as you can see now, what I'm doing is I'm actually going to be cutting out the stalk. If you've got any small part of the leaves and stuff, don't worry about doing them because you're not going to actually wrap the Wellington in it. So you can keep the trims, you can make a soup out of it, or whatever you want to do. You've got some backup cabbage there. The stalks, I just throw them away. I can't really do nothing with them. So we're just making sure we've got all the stalks out and the leaves are all nice and long and in good shape. So at this part now, we're going to be seasoning and searing the beef, getting the beef nice and seared off, ready to go into the Wellington. So I've got a fillet here. I actually purchased this from my local butchers, at the Old Street Butchers, located down in Buckhurst Hill. If you do go there, guys, check it out. Amazing quality meat. Yeah, I've been going there for about a year now. So yeah, just amazing. So with the beef, you want to make sure you get all the sides, the top, the bottom, the back, all of it. Make sure it's all got a really nice rubbing it, and you give it a nice massage in. I hope you guys actually appreciate my Santa Claus outfit full of my olive oil. I don't know where that come from, but yep. Now we're going to be moving on to actually searing off the meat and sorting out the cabbage as well. So what you want to do, obviously you can see I've got some boiling water there, and this technique, what we're going to be doing is called blanching. I haven't got any ice, so it's technically not, but it's literally in there for about 30 seconds, taken out straight in cold water. And as you can see, my pan, you want it really hot because we're not cooking the beef, we're searing it. So make sure at hand you've got some butter with you, and you've got some garlic, some thyme and some rosemary, and some bay leaf as well if you've got it. And what we're going to do, we're going to just focus on getting a really nice colour on the beef, and then what we're going to do is add a little bit of butter and just baste the steak in the rest of the juices and stuff. Right, so now I've just turned the beef, and as you see, I don't really want to be moving it. I want to keep it in one position, so I'm not fiddling around with it, just so you get a nice caramelisation on all sides. If you do keep moving it, you're not going to get the colour you want. So, like I said before, we're not cooking it, we're searing it. So we want to be nice and quick with this, making sure your pan's on full whack, getting a really nice deep colour on it. Now I'm going to add my butter. What we do this in the kitchens at work and stuff as well, and it gives a really nice flavour, and it perfumes the meat as well. So there's a bit of thyme there, bay leaf and garlic. Very quickly, so at this point I've actually turned off my pan. This is the natural heat left in the pan for the steak. So make sure your pan's off at this time, and what we're doing, we're getting all the glaze, we're just basting it over, and then after that we're going to let the steak cool down because we don't want to put it in the Wellington hot. Right guys, now we've got all our components ready, and after we make sure they're all nice and cool down because we're not going to build nothing hot, we're going to brush it with a Dijon mustard. You want to cover all the angles for this, make sure it's even the bottom as well. Now we're going to be adding our Parma ham, and we're going to completely wrap the whole Wellington in this, and this is going to be the same for every single process. You want to make sure you cover all the sides, every bit, so when we cut it and when you cut a portion, everyone's got the exact same. Right guys, now with the cabbage, same process as the Parma ham, but one thing I did do, as you can see, I've put it on some paper towels. And what you want to do, you really want to press all the water out of this, because if not, what's going to happen is it's going to just, you're adding more water to it, and it's not going to help seal in, and it's just going to make it a lot more wet. So make sure guys, you're giving it a good push, getting out all the water, and yeah, it looks like that. So it's all nice and dry, the cabbage. Now we're moving on to our pancake, and as you can see, I just cut a little bit of ends off just because I don't need it. This is going to be for the NP for both sides. What I'm actually picking out there is the thyme and the rosemary that I actually put in the duxelle when we was cooking it. So if you can do that before, that'd be great, but this is all nice and cold as well, by the way. This part now guys is very simple. We're just going to get our mushroom duxelle, making sure it's got no stalks or rosemary stalks in it, like I said, or even a bay leaf, and we're just going to spread it over the pancake. Right guys, so what we want to do now, we're going to be adding our Wellington to the pancake, and this is going to just make our lives a little bit easier just to wrap. The way I'm wrapping it, I'm pulling it right to the end and just completely flipping it over, and I'm making sure it's tucked really underneath it, because if there's any gaps and the pancake's not covering it all, what's going to happen is the juice is going to come out from the beef and from any other the ingredients inside, and it's actually going to make the puff pastry a bit wet, and it'll probably fall apart when you pull it out the oven if you're not too careful. So just take a little bit of extra time, trim up the ends, making sure it's all covered. Right, now we're moving on to actually wrapping the beef. So the egg wash there is very simple. I'm just using just eggs, nothing else in that. I actually pulled this out the fridge a bit early, so mine's really soft. So don't do what I done, don't do a bend. Keep it in the fridge a little bit longer, and just making sure it's not too firm that you can move it, but it's actually okay. Right, so now guys, this part here is just purely just for the decoration on it, like Gordon Ramsay does. So if you're not doing this part, or obviously if you haven't got the card, don't worry about it. So what you want to do, you actually want to leave it in the fridge now to set, probably about an hour to 2 hours before you actually can cook it. And the way I cook mine at 220 to 200, depending on your oven, and just until it's golden brown. That's the only thing you need to do. And when you do this, and when you put it out, it's all nice and golden brown, you need to let it rest. Don't carve into it straight away, because your beef won't be rested and it's literally going to piss out all the juice and stuff all over your chopping board. So all you want to do, you're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes. Use a really nice, sharp, serrated knife, possibly if you've got one, if not a really sharp knife. Yeah, and carve up, and it should be perfect. Hope you like mine anyway. And guys, if you like this video, please leave a like, obviously subscribe, and if you've got anything in mind you want me to cook or whatever, put it in the comments, let me know. If not, drop me a message on Instagram or on Facebook, and yeah, I can help you out with anything, any recipes or any ideas you need. Right, so once again guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Any support, any shares will be really appreciated, guys, and if I don't see you again, I hope you all have a wicked Christmas during COVID. Yeah, and a Happy New Year, everyone. All right, thank you very much.